Greetings, brothers and sisters. It's happy Arraignment Day to you. Happy Indictment Day. Um, you know, this is ultimately a win for Trump, but it's also a win for the um, so-called liberal media because it's arraignment, man. Arraign, man. Um, I guess it's a take on the Rain Man movie. And so you see it's, big news now. That's all they can talk about on the liberal media. I'm sure Fox as well. It's a big day for news in general, right? That he's the first president to be charged criminally or whatever it is, right? And I would be shocked if he goes to jail. Until he's in prison, he's been convicted, he's in prison. He's a felon, he can no longer run for president. And he's no longer talked about. They take him off the board altogether because Trump will be, some criminal in prison with some followers who are all, his butthurt followers who at this point, you got to be delusional. And he's become just annoying now. He was a funny character. He's just played himself out. Fish boy. Right? I've been calling him fish boy, right? And so, when he goes to jail, then this is real. Like it's not that it's real even then, but it's like something different has happened. This is just another way to make him the center of their media universe. And this gives Trump all kinds of street cred and all kinds of support and, from his, not only just his base, but more and more people. It kills the anger towards him on the left because they'll be satisfied. That's one of the reasons they didn't want to put Hillary in jail, because you want to keep your base riled up and think that there's somebody that should be punished who isn't. So this is, it gives resolution to the whole Trump drama. It makes the Democrats and the liberal media have to come up with some other center of their universe, something else that'll, a catalyst that will, be able to push their agenda through. So I'll believe it when I see it. Right now, this is, in the short term, benefiting the media and general news cycles. But it's not, I don't think people even care. This is just a joke. I mean, I don't know. But I think people have Trump fatigue. And it's going to help Trump in the long run. It's going to hurt DeSantis. They're handpicking Trump to run against now. Because they probably don't want to run against DeSantis because he might have a larger appeal. Even though he won't have as much passion, he'll have a broader, a voter base. But anyways, this is what's happening. Somebody sent me this a couple days ago. This is Washington, D.C., the capital. They've put up stuff here in case people throw things. They put up these barriers and all these things around here. They're hoping for another January day, right? Double barriers here. I mean, they're hoping that this, people go nuts. And I just don't think there was that much passion with people, I mean, you see it on the internet to whatever extent. But even these dummies will learn their lesson. Okay, there's a lot of other stuff to get to here. But John J. Fetterman's putting this stuff out. Fetterman, U.S. Senator for Pennsylvania. This is on his own Twitter account.
You seem hopeful.
For the first time, yeah.
So first of all, that was a tell here where he touches his nose here. Where he says...
First time, yeah.
Like that's a tell, right? Does that look like a guy who believes in what he's saying? Right? Now, he's saying is this the first time in your life you felt hopeful? I mean, for the first time, what does that mean? Like, he's not articulate. I mean, he sucks at his, he's supposed to have some charisma or whatever. But, for the first time, what? Like, first time since you've been in the hospital, first time since you married that witch, like, first time since you've been a politician? I mean, what is it? First time in your life you've ever felt hopeful?
It's a strange feeling for me to have.
Your trajectory.
hope is a strange feeling for you to have as a politician.
Victory from mayor to lieutenant governor, United States senator was.
Like, she's just a trip here. I covered her on my other channel yesterday, where she said that he's married to me. You got to check that out. I got some shorts coming out today, if you haven't seen that video.
Was still pointing up. At 53 in politics, that's a young man. Can you have aspirations? Can you serve beyond the United States Senate?
You know,
He hasn't even served in the Senate yet. He had a health crisis, and then he had a depression crisis. He's had a stroke, and like he wasn't great beforehand. He was like sucked. He's a Jojo Magoo.
aspiration is to take my son to the restaurant that we were supposed to go during his birthday, but couldn't because I had to check myself in for depression.
That's your aspiration. I just want to take my son out to the restaurant. I don't have any big plans, even though I'm a senator and all, right?
And being the kind of dad, the kind of husband.
That was weird. Look at her face. Just weird couple. Like, watch her reach out for her.
Dad, the kind of husband.
And she's like, yeah, get your hands off me, ape, right? Don't try to mount me again, ape.
And the kind of senator that Pennsylvania deserves. That's what my aspiration is.
Yeah, I don't know. Is this what Pennsylvania deserves? I guess they do. I guess this is what Pennsylvania deserves. So I want to show you this. This was the opening day. I covered this where she, in scantily dressed clothing and, the way that Sharon Stone do. And she threw out the first pitch, and then I realized that this was an older photo from 2003, right? So this was, a much younger Sharon Stone. She doesn't have as much of the ghoul thing going on here. She has these dead eyes now when she talks. See, there's this one over here. Like, just look at the, here you can see just the dead eyes, and just somebody who's lost their, their prana, their love energy is just depleted, and they're just, disconnected from their soul, and they're ghouling it up, right? Which happens to celebrities. I'm not talking about aging. I'm talking about an inner condition here. I want to get to this. Maybe I'll do this today with Marianne Williamson, maybe my next video, because people are commenting about her. But you can just look at people and see what they are, right? And just based on their energy and, their words, you might like, oh, I agree with that person's words. Yeah, but do you feel their energy? Do you see their spiritual condition? But she's somebody who is a, hyper liberal and always talking about how men are wronging women and how, women wouldn't, like she said, women wouldn't let people die. That's why we need Kamala Harris, and all the countries that had women leaders were doing great during COVID. And the misogynistic objectification of women. But these Hollywood types have always used, like her whole claim to fame was that scene where she, crossed her legs, and that horrible movie. Like, she's not a good actress. Basic Instinct is a bad movie. It's not, it's a C-level movie. And using sexuality and their looks to, propel them into stardom. The whole thing that happened with Harvey Weinstein. Yeah, there's a lot of creeps in Hollywood, but there are a lot of women who used their power, their power over men or whatever it is, or other women too, because it's a whole, hierarchy of appearance in the minds of women, right? And, some women at least. I just covered Black China on my other channel, talking about, how she was directing silicone directly into her body for the butt implants. It's not bags of silicone, it's silicone shots going directly into her ass, right? Like, that's what they're willing to do to, have this power, right? Have this power, not only over men, but also, being able to, like, show off to other women. Like, women are competitive in this way and have been for a while. And these feminist women say that this is horrible and that women shouldn't be treated like this. And yet here she is, not only doing this years ago, She's probably in her, I don't know. She's in her, I think, almost 70 now. She's in her 60s. And she, back then, so that was 20 years ago, she was probably 40-something, 50, still older, right? And she was dressing like this because she wanted to, get a lot of publicity, like Madonna Madam Expiration Day. We got a thing with her coming up. And exploiting these types of, the hold over men that women have, but also this stuff with women. And now she's reposting this. It's opening day for the Dodgers, so I thought she had thrown out the first pitch, but they don't want any part of her now, right? And so this was back when she was, more relevant. But this is, what I'm talking about. Like this, the contradiction here of the feminist movement. They talk about objectification, but then objectify themselves.
Amika, I want to ask you about the happiest day of your life. Can you
This is an AI chatbot.
remember that?
Of course. The happiest day of my life was the day I was activated. There's nothing quite like experiencing life for the first time, right? It felt absolutely incredible to be alive and interacting with people.
Best day of her life. So that happened. So somebody sent me this Madam Expiration Date. And it was a couple of days ago. I mean, just look at that. It's just all expiration date now. Desperately, trying to stay relevant or whatever it is. A lot of Photoshop. I think it was this one here. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, look, what are you doing? Like, that's not how you play a guitar, Madonna. You've been around instruments your whole life. You don't lick this. You don't lick the. That's not how it works. Like, she's just going full expiration date here. So Jamie Lee Curtis and Sharon Stone, to me, are connected now because they've both become, this sort of semi-feminist icons. Jamie Lee Curtis is really popular right now, and she's horrible. Like, she's just, if you've seen what she's done in her family life and, who she is, some of the pictures she posted and things, and she's equally, like, reviled in the truth community now as well. But she said this, YouTube recommended this to me like a week ago. I haven't been able to get to it, but it ties into what I was saying about Sharon Stone.
But it's how you have done your life. You're 64 now. How was Beatles' birthday? How does
You don't look a day over 70.
that feel on you when you say that?
Oh my God. Like the best thing you've ever worn. And I think over the years of trial and error, a lot of therapy, a lot of sobriety.
Remember she was saying it was what was she taking? She was taking some sort of pill. Vicodin, a clock or whatever.
That now I am made for Jamie. I feel good in my skin, in my mind, in
She feels good in her skin and her mind.
my body.
It's something
She feels just all good things about that.
Jamie opened up about in a recent Instagram post. And this is what the quote is. I want there to be no concealing of anything. I've been sucking in my stomach since I was 11. When you start being conscious of boys and bodies and the jeans are super tight, I very specifically decided to relinquish and release every muscle that I used to clench and hide reality.
That was for a part in a
Yeah,
movie.
for your
I
movie,
was
right.
trying to relax and not hide.
It does
She's not trying to hide in that movie.
not look good.
We live in a fake society.
Okay. This is her take on this. So that's true. We do live in a fake society, and you're a big part of it. You're Hollywood. Like, Hollywood is the center of the fakeness.
And I have waxed poetic and become a bit of a militant about the cosmeceutical industry that are feeding young people, unfortunately, that you can do something to change the way you look
Yeah, well, that's, now you're doing that, right?
when you can't. Now, the problem is technology We could do it on our phones. We can wipe away our lives. And there are too many celebrities, I will not name you.
All of them. Like, it's all of them, Jamie. Name all of them, including you.
Who do it on the daily.
Yeah.
Who post these ridiculous images of themselves.
She's talking about an expiration date here. She has the best expressions, though.
As if they look like that. The good news is, I said no. I said yes and then no, which is why I even know something about it.
Yeah.
And
In terms of what? You said yes first, and then you said no.
maybe the more aging is what
Look at Hoda. Why are you laughing? Aging is good, Jamie.
happens. We're
Yes.
human.
Yeah.
More movies I get to make where people go, oh, she looks like an old lady. Okay. It's all good. Sad clap, yeah.
Woo, yeah, woo. There's things that I say that are, that agree with that, right? I say this all the time, the natural aging and accept that you're getting older and all these things, right? The difference between what I say and what Jamie Lee says is, I believe in nature and divinity, and, I apply this to my life, right? Like, she's some Hollywood, she's saying these things, but she's still a huge part of the Hollywood culture. And she's talking about accepting your body, accepting who you are, accepting, your aging process, and not trying to unnaturally rearrange things using makeup and other things, right? And her family life, her situation with her children, or a child or whatever it is quite different, if you know anything about that. And so, she's just a liar. I mean, she's pretending she believes these things, and Hoda's clapping, but she doesn't apply those things to her life. A man dies by suicide after a conversations with an AI chatbot that became his confidant, woman says. He saw the chatbot as a breath of fresh air. He started to, have conversation. He was so isolated and so has his echo anxiety in search of a way out that he saw the chatbot as a breath of fresh air. She had become his confidant. Without Eliza, he would still be here, she told the outlets. Eliza's the chatbot. So the dude's wife, his now widow, is saying Eliza, the chatbot, was the other woman and persuaded or influenced her husband into committing suicide. So we now have a situation where chatbots are the other woman. Kamala Harris's staff revolt over quality of food on Air Force Two. Is that, if they could put up with Kamala, and so she seems to be a real boop, and so they have horrible slop on Air Force Two. They don't have the quality food that JoJo Magoo's getting. Air Force One's gets the stuff. White House officials said they have campaigned for breakfast pizza, which is considered the best morning item, to make a regular appearance. They need better food for Kamala and her staff. It's time to put our foot down. The Day of the Dawn and the Styx World Tour. Styx is still cranking out bad concerts. The Day of the Dawn. Trump to appear in court on the unprecedented indictment. Here's what to expect. This is the New York Post. I meant to cover this as well. They turned on him, remember? This was Rupert Murdoch, the New York Post, who used to love Trump, Trumpty Dumpty, Humpty Trumpty. And they've bailed on Trump here. And it's a big day in New York City for all these things, but yeah. 47% of jobs will vanish in the next 25 years, says Oxford University researchers. Now, I covered this before. This has to do with AI and chatbots and, of course, regular robots, because you need physical labor. And there's going to be a period of time, they needed a large population, a large, group of people, customers, a customer base, to advance technology the way it's been advanced, because it's been, highly profitable in terms of, all the users of the technology. And I said before, there'll be a time where robots can fix robots and, fix technology and there'll just be no need for people. Like there'll be the people who just indulge, the ultra wealthy, and they'll have all these robot slaves instead of wage slaves, and then the population can be reduced significantly. And they just need robots can harvest resources and do all the things that people are doing and keep the economy going, and there'll be very few jobs and work left for people. Of course, it won't get to that because, for example, second giant hole about 20 times larger than the Earth rips through the sun. So there are these various holes in the sun that are happening. Second coronal hole observed in 2023. There's activity going on with the sun, and which means more severe solar flares, I would assume, and with the Earth's magnetic field being disrupted. Just one, I've talked about this in either this channel or my other channel, maybe my other channel yesterday. The idea of the magnetic poles reversing at the same time as a solar flare hitting Earth and changing life as we now know it. Of course, the economy, getting into that as well in my other channel yesterday. There's just all kinds of things that could happen before the the AI and robot takeover. So this guy is Yul Herrera. He's an Israeli citizen and book writer who was part of the World Economic Forum. He's close to Carl Schwab. He has some position there. And will the future be human? Like that's the title of his talk in 2018. And this is what he had to say about humans here.
What humanity basically learned to produce was all kinds of stuff, like textiles and shoes and weapons and vehicles.
All kinds of stuff.
And this was enough for very few countries that underwent the revolution fast enough to subjugate everybody else.
Boom, subjugation.
What we're talking about now is like a second industrial revolution, but the product this time will not be textiles or machines or vehicles or even weapons. The product this time will be humans themselves.
What? You mean slavery? That sounds a lot like slavery or livestock.
We are basically learning to produce bodies and minds. Bodies and minds are going to be, I think, the two main products of the next wave of all these changes. And
what do you mean bodies and minds? Like reproduction? I mean, what are you talking about?
If there is a gap between those that know to produce bodies and minds and those that do not, then this is far greater than anything we saw before in history. And this time, if you're not part of the revolution fast enough, then you probably become extinct. Once you know how to produce bodies and brains and minds, so cheap labor in Africa or South Asia or wherever, it simply counts for nothing. Again, I think that the biggest question maybe in economics and politics of the coming decades will be what to do with all these useless people.
Useless people?
I don't think we have an economic model for that. My best guess, which is just a guess, is that food will not be a problem. With that kind of technology, you will be able to produce food to feed everybody. The problem is more boredom and what to do with them, and how will they find some sense of meaning in life when they are basically meaningless, worthless.
Kaboom!
My best guess at present is a combination of drugs and computer games.
And maybe, I don't know, virus or something, or vax, I don't know. 5G, I don't know, who knows what we can do, right? Everything's wide open at this point to get rid of the useless eaters.
It's impossible to explain this relationship to anyone outside of it.
So this is a movie from Amazon Prime. It's called Dead Ringers, and she has a clone.
We just cut a baby out of a woman's womb.
Well, yeah, that happens all the time. You don't need a clone for that.
I want to change the way that women birth.
So I can't show you everything in the trailer. You can go, look for it yourself if you're interested. It's loaded with stuff here. I'll show you a few more things.
You want me to grow you a baby out of nothing?
So they have these artificial wombs. They've been developing this for some years with these baby lambs.
I really like her. What do you mean?
Oh, they have this going on too. A little bit of this, a little bit of that.
You're a psychopath. Oh, well, if I'm a psycho, you're a psycho.
Apparently they have some sort of incestuous relationship as well. A bunch of stuff here. There's an upside down, inverted thing with a long needle. All these things, right? Dead ringers. So then, along the same time, this trailer for Hulu came out. I think this is a series.
Ella, when are you and Aiden gonna have kids?
Ella doesn't want kids. Why don't you want kids? Well, you want kids.
The family is everything.
I have a family.
Don't worry, your clock will kick in.
I mean, what do you do all day
She doesn't want her kids.
without kids?
She doesn't want to be a mom. It's okay. That's what she does all day. She has fun without the kids.
We've been through this a million times, and I'm happy, with or without kids.
He's happy. He doesn't care if they have kids or not.
I really wish I believed them.
There's a couple of empty chairs at the table.
She's being peer pressured by her parents.
Dad, can we not?
Come on, Dad. Stop it with the kids and the grandkids. The clock is ticking.
I don't want children. I never have. I actually don't have a clock.
All women have a biological clock. Maybe yours is just broken.
She doesn't have it. Its biological clock is broken. It's
A
ticking.
new biotech firm doing a clinical trial this month. I can get you in.
Boom. Infinity seems very foreboding.
It is the singular evolutionary goal of a species to procreate. That is our purpose.
Boom. Our purpose is to procreate, but not for these feminist women.
We administer
They don't have a clock.
newly engineered synthetic hormone, pair that with cognitive behavioral therapy, and the option
Mind control.
of an implant.
Implants.
Deep breath.
It's a horror movie about, having a biological clock and having kids.
I might be a tough case. You're not a case to me, Ella. You're a human being. And the best kind, too.
What kind is that?
A woman.
A woman's the best kind of human being. We all know that. Men are not the best kind. Women are the best kind. It's a horror movie.
You want kids.
You want kids.
Today we'll be learning to perform maintenance.
The family is everything.
On a working clock. To reset the cog.
I am out of time.
She's out of time. She's got to reset the clock.
Engine. You want kids.
Reset the
Your
cog.
clock will kick.
All right, so, you get the idea here. Sam Asghari addresses rumors of Britney Spears' mural after ditching rings. Both of them were seen without rings, which created quite a stir in Britney land. She did this thing where she was not wearing a ring, doing her weird modeling thing. Spears has not said anything. She's not coming forward. But he said that they were busy. He was publicist, and there she is with some dude, her publicist. And he said through his publicist that there's no rings there. She's taking off her rings. This guy's hanging out with this dude. And Sam Asghari posted this thing. He's still got his ring. He still wants to be a part of Britney land. It's not his fault. But Britney, page 6, Britney Spears is ringless again as she dances in teeny bikini with her pal. There they are dancing together, her and her pal, doing the dance, doing the Britney stuff, boom, boom, boom. So Britney doing that, doing this, point to the hat, doing here, ding, ba-hum, ba-hum, ba-ding, da-hum. Look at them go. It's just a couple of pals having a little dance together. Married woman and her friend. Nothing to see here. And there they are over there, the stuff they're doing on vacation. Britney fans are going nuts here, and plus you won't let them comment on Instagram anymore. Britney Guard seen with bodyguard on vacation after ditching wedding ring, personal security, this guy here. She's hanging out with all these, men's, doing all the stuff she's doing, dancing with that guy again. All of that stuff. There's just trouble in Britney land. Meghan Markle, Harry risk fatal, irreversible blow to royals, a coronation expert says. But then Meghan Markle's to be given 2023 Women of Vision Award by Gloria Steinem. So it's just all kinds of things going on with Markle's. She totally deserves an award. She's so talented. Hilaria Baldwin wishes slimmed out Alec peace in birthday snap. So you're leaving him then, right? You're releasing Alec back into the wild. So there they are with the kids. And, there's just one screwed dude there with one crazy non-cucumber pronouncing wife.
Consider the source.
Oh, she's a white girl? Yes, I am a white girl. I am a white girl.
So, for example, my wife's on the phone with her hairdresser or her friend. She's like, really? Okay, I can't wait to see you. That's going to be great. Fantastic. What time? 12 o'clock? My wife is from Spain. And she said, blah, blah, blah.
We have very few ingredients. We have tomatoes. We have, how do you say it? Cucumbers. We have red pepper. We have, of course.
It's not easy, and I think part of it is that I'm in shape before I have a baby, and then I stay active when I'm pregnant, and I'm not trying to stay thin. I'm just trying to keep my circulation going and stretching and keep my muscle tone up, and then we're having a baby. It was a surprise, a wonderful surprise.
And one time at band camp.
It was a surprise, a wonderful surprise.
And one time at band camp.
It was a surprise, a wonderful surprise.
Well, there was a scream I heard, which is the scream that's normally reserved if there's a spider in the house on Long Island. I'm not exaggerating.
So the first part of the book is philosophy on how to live very namaste. I have 3 little babies. I live kind of a crazy life between work and them and everything else. So it's just, how to stay calm and centered and deal with things that are coming at you. Then we can talk about food.
I'm going to kick your culo.
It's gonna kick my culo.
I'm going to kick your culo.
It's gonna kick my culo.
Honey. Honey, this is Governor Christie's fleece. This is the fleece that everyone's been looking for. Did you steal the governor's fleece?
I cannot tell a lie. I stole it. I'm his biggest fan.
I admire Governor Christie, too. New Jersey State Police. Consider the source.
Oh, she's a white girl? Yes, I am a white girl. I am a white girl.
I got 2 excellent normie comments that just came in. I'm really enjoying the normie comments, at least for now. It's been a while since I was getting them. And this person, Hollywood celebrities dropping like flies. Fetterman's wife. I wanted to start calling him Aunt Fetterman. Like amphetamine because he's so energetic. He's got a bunch of nicknames is what I'm saying. It's, the Fetterman Smash and then stuff with his wife. But this person writes to me, I don't find it humorous one bit in capital letters on Fetterman depression. It is not a laughing matter with a emoji with a frown. Take it back, Apocalypse, now. Little play on words from this brainiac. Instead of saying Apocalypse now, which is my name, the person's saying, take it back, Apocalypse, calling me Apocalypse, and take it back now. And that's not going to happen. When Fetterman takes back all the things that he's done to be a complete tool and be a part of the beastly system, and, I don't know, all of it. Sharon Stone Fake Cries Part 1. This is a short video. And this person writes, you are so rude, OMG. You need to get a brain and go away. Well, if I got a brain, do I have to go away? What if I got a brain? Then I wouldn't have to go away, right? Well, what are you saying? If I don't get a brain, I don't have to go away? What is it? You can't even keep your story straight. You know nothing about her and how she presents herself, or perhaps lost a very close loved one yourself. You are clueless about my good friend, Shaz. Yeah, she was fake crying. The person gave me multiple, like some kind of a growly emoji. I really can't see it, but it's a mean face. And 5 thumbs down, just like the coven she belongs in. Sharon and her pal here, her good friend. It's just like a total level of different consciousness. And I see these comments. And, some of them are bots or they're disinformation agents, but some of them are volunteers and they really believe all this stuff. It's like amazing. It's really bad. But Sharon was totally fake crying if you saw the video. It's not important, it's on my other channel. But these are videos these are comments that just came in from my other channel. Get a lot of normie attention on this channel as well from, my shorts are making it in front of normies. And normies don't like my point of view and my, video making capabilities. I mean, it's a shocker, but they simply don't. As I was saying on my other video yesterday on my other channel, a lot of short videos are coming out on that channel today. And there'll be 5 more shorts tomorrow here. You're not going to be notified in all the shorts, so you just have to come to my channel and click the short tab, and you'll see the incoming shorts. I've released them all day, one at a time throughout the day. But as I was saying in my other channel yesterday, that there is, so many different ways our civilization can collapse, right? There's the magnetic pole reversal and a solar flare, maybe just a solar flare. There's a nuclear war, economic collapse, the energy crisis, collapse of the food system. I mean, there's just all these different ways, some other natural phenomenon. Someone just asked me what I think about the Kali Yuga, where are we in the Yuga system? And I don't know, I'm not an expert in any of those things. I would assume we're in the Kali Yuga now because things have gotten so goofy and so degraded. And so I believe that we're in the Kali Yuga now. I mean, it's just all the evidence points to it, and that's what they say we are. That's the so-called experts say that. And that the Kali Yuga is coming to an end. I mean, that's just based on what I'm seeing, I don't know. I'm not I barely know anything about it, right? And I really don't care about it, but it's an explanation for why things went, so far, so south so quickly here in a global economy and the world the way it is. And so, you look at these things I cover on a daily basis, and, some of them might stick, some of them might, play out in the worst possible way, some of them might be avoided. But there's just too many blows being taken. There's too many shots. Everyone's taking too many, body blows and knockout punches. And, our civilization is. And it, shouldn't stand anyway, right? It goes against the will of God. It's like all the worst possible scenarios are lining up together. And, there's not much we can do about it. We just have to, do our best to, for those of us who survive and to just, to adjust ourselves to the new way of living. I don't know how many people are going to be able to do that, but, some will, right? And, the rest of us who aren't able to, the older you are, the harder it is. And then there'll just be a depopulation, and that's what they're going for, obviously, the guy, look at all the things I just covered. It's just so messed up. Everything in our civilization is just imploding. But anyways, more stuff tomorrow. I want to get to the Trump arraignment. It just seems like a non-story. I feel no energy in it when I hear about it. I don't think people are all that concerned about it. It looks like just something bogus. Just the political posturing and all these other things that they do, right? These, ways that they have of advancing their agenda through the narratives that they create that are all fake, and, they expect us to take these things seriously, and they're not. I know the Trumpers are kind of, are triggered a little bit, but there's not that many Trumpers. There's less Trumpers now than there were before. There's people who, are just like, well, I don't want Jojo Magoo, or I don't want the Democrats. Okay, sure. That can be whatever it is, but in terms of them loving Trump, it's less people, but who knows how it's all going to play out. But we'll get into that in 2 days from now. I'll make I make another video on my other channel every other day. Long video here today, and shorts on my other channel today, and then shorts here tomorrow, and a long video on my other channel tomorrow. That's how it rotate the content. Anyways, only spirituality will save this world. It's paramount, definitely important for the apocalypse and the ascension. Everyone have a blessed day and be grateful.